Hello and welcome back. Finally, welcome back to your chapter 6 discussion with the discussion of the inside the chapter question answers in today's class. So, let's do that without any further delay. Questions again in the same format comprising MCQs 1, 2, 3 and 5 mark question. Here is the first question. Which state had the highest population according to the census of India 2011? That is, we are talking about highest population, so that was of Uttar Pradesh. These regions too have high population, but not the leading one as Uttar Pradesh. What was India's total population as per the census of India 2011? So it was 1210.6 million people. Quite a good size. So what was the population density of India according to the census of 2011? So without any doubt, 382 persons living per square kilometer. Next question. Which state had the lowest population density according to this census only? So that is Arunachal Pradesh. For Sikkim, we have discussed, but the lowest part is for Arunachal Pradesh. According to the census of India, which of the following is a major factor for influencing rural to urban migration? More agricultural land, how it can be possible in the urban areas? Better transport in rural areas? Not at all. Scarcity, shortage? Not at all. Answer is more employment, more job opportunities in the city. So landless farmers or the people who are jobless in the villages, they do shift to the cities for looking for the more or better job opportunities. Which of the following components we are talking about does not contribute directly to population growth? Birth rate does, death rate does, migration does, literacy rate doesn't. So our answer will be literacy rate. Don't consider these texts as I was putting them because of the acceptance part. Next, when did India launch its first family planning program? In 1952 itself. What is the age group of the adolescent population as defined in the chapter? So that is 10 to 19 years. And it's not only about the chapter. Actually, this is the age group. Which of the following is again not a feature of the NPP of 2000? Free and compulsory education is there. Reduction of infant mortality rate, it is there. Let's see. It is there. Encouraging early marriage for girls? No. Encouraging for delaying marriages for girls. So it should be vice versa. There should be likewise crossed and it should be accepted as the answer because it was not the part. Encouraging early marriage? Definitely not. So last question in the terms of MCQ. So which of the following countries had a higher population density than India as per the chapter? And we have discussed about Japan and Bangladesh. And for Japan, it was quite high, remember 1031 something like that. What is the ratio of people of dependent age to people of economically active age called? So they are called dependency ratio. Other than that, earning comes in independent one. Which Indian state had only 5.5%? So 5.5% should remind you immediately of Rajasthan state. Answer is Rajasthan. Next question. What is the movement of people across regions or territories known as? Certainly migration. Migration is the answer. Next one. Which region of India has a high population density due to fertile soil and abundant rainfall? So these are the northern plains. They do provide all the types of better opportunities as compared to the other physiographic regions of India. Next is, which decade recorded the highest annual growth rate of India's population? That we have discussed, I think, more than twice. So 1971 to 1981, and thereafter it starts declining. Discuss the significance of population in social and economic development. So we have to give the significance of population. So population is the central element in social studies from which all other aspects are observed, and people are both producers and consumers. So in the terms of the discussion of the social studies part, we are talking about the social involvement, and talking about the economic development, we are talking about the humans as playing the role of producers and consumers. Along with that, resources gain significance only when they are utilized by people, when they satisfy the human needs. For example, coal was discussed, and I don't want to repeat that for you once again. It is already there. Natural events, likewise floods and tsunamis, are considered as natural events only until unless they are not affecting human lives, the people residing in certain towns, cities and villages. The distribution, growth and characteristics of a population provides the basis for understanding the environment of any particular region or all around us. Explain the trends of population growth, in what ratio, whether the birth rate is affecting growth, or whether the birth rate is affecting, death rate is affecting, or migration is affecting. So we have to talk about that particular trend, and that affected India from 1951 to 2011. So India's population has steadily increased since this particular year of 51 to 2011. In 51, it was this much, 361 million. And according to 2011 census, it had reached up to this extent. Now, the annual growth rate increased from 1.25% in this year to 2.22% in this year, before gradually declining. So, the absolute increase in population remained high despite the decline in the growth rate. It can vary from the absolute part. So, the decline in the growth rate since 81 is due to decline in birth rate and improved healthcare. So, improved healthcare, quite obviously, health facilities has been improved for this part. Even with a lower growth rate, India's large population base leads to a high absolute increase in numbers. It means each year a particular amount of humans, amount in the terms of 2, 10, we are talking about that. We are not talking about the percentage increase per annum likewise. So, how many people are added each year within the particularly present or prevalent population. And continuing with this question answer series, we have one more. Describe the major components of population change and their impact on India's population structure. Very important question. So, we have to talk about again the common features that we are going on in the discussion. Birth rate, the number of live births per 1,000 people in a year, and a major component of growth since India has traditionally had high birth rates. Along with that, death rate. So, the number of deaths per 1,000 people in a year or person in a year. The main reason for population growth in the India has been the rapid decline in death rate, again due to better medical facilities, due to the improved healthcare part. Again, in the continuity, migration, how can we skip it? Because these three of the features have to come all together. So, movement of people within or between countries, international or internal migration takes place. Internal migration does not change the overall population but affects the distribution of population along with the composition. Migration from rural to urban areas leads to the urbanization and population concentration in the cities because it is providing more or better facilities. Discuss the factors affecting the distribution of population in India. So, we are talking about the distribution of population. So, physiographic regions or reasons are the specific one. So, topography is responsible for somewhat extent or up to the huge extent. So, flat plains and fertile lands have high population density, for example, northern plains. Rugged and hilly areas have low population density, as in the mountainous regions we are talking about. Along with that, climate, favorable, not favorable, we are talking about extreme conditions. And moderate is responsible for the high density and the extreme are responsible for the low density part, and the regions are also with us. So, another factor, soil and agriculture, then comes economic development. So, wherever fertile soil will be present, it will increase the agriculture part in that particular region. So, for the agriculture part, more and more people are going to reside in those particular regions. For example, in northern plains. Talking about economic development, so industrial cities do comprises high density population. So, industrially developed states attract the high population density. For example, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Finally, the last factor, but not actually least factor, but not the last factor to affect is the availability of water and resources. Wherever there will be sufficient amount of water and sufficient amount of resources to utilize, the population will be residing in those particular areas. That calls for high density regions. That was all about our today's class along with the final chapter of the geography book. Hope the studies were quite clear to you. So hopefully we'll see you in the future in some other class. Till then, best of luck for your studies. Bye.